I love YouTube and I love going on YouTube. There's a lot of YouTubers I'm entertained by, but most of these YouTubers don't know shit. Majority of them don't know what the fuck they talking about. I really did see 2 weeks of just bad takes, man. People just talking about things they have no knowledge
What were they saying?
no idea. Just ridiculous stuff. I will say this. This is going to upset some people.
Okay.
Just need people to know. The Breakfast Club Netflix situation is a whole other situation than me re-signing.
That's not included in the iHeart deal?
Why would it be?
What about the fact that some of these shows going to Netflix will now be siloed and their discoverability will no longer be the same? But I also think that amongst the legends in media, he has been among the least entertaining of the guys like Star, even Joe, Wendy Williams, Howard Stern. He just doesn't belong at the top to me.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
So I don't want to come off as a hater, though. I know you listening to this right now is probably saying, you are a hater.
Welcome back and what's good, YouTube? This is the Furious Robinson podcast, and I'm your host, Furious, and I'm here to document ego power, leveraging accountability in media. Hit the like button early, drop a comment for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel. This is a Sick Times media production. You see the planes? So Charlamagne's $200 million deal got him up in arms, and I get it. If you can't really see the trees through the forest, if you can't really fathom how big that deal is, you're going to call it fake. But the fact that none of these people are agents, none of them are lawyers, they've never read a term sheet, but yet they understand and know how a deal is structured, coming from iHeart to Charlamagne.
No, I know. I think I saw that in a headline, and I don't get what. That's a terrible move.
Wait, come on, brother, stop.
Also, that's a lot of bad information that's going around. People are just having these conversations online talking about we're not going to be on YouTube anymore. We're not going to be on social media. This is what I want y'all to do in 2026. Please, shut the f*** up.
Ooh.
Okay? Just, how about start asking more questions as opposed to just getting on your platforms and saying things that you have no knowledge of just for engagement. Because all you're doing is spreading a whole bunch of bad information.
But we're missing one key point in all of this, and I know there's a lot of bias going around. Everybody has their favorites, but Charlamagne is stepping into a media mogul. He's stepping into being a corporate exec, and he's no longer talent. This is a partnership deal. And then we conflate issues. We conflate media companies. We're putting Netflix with iHeart.
I'm just saying, the general, you could see headlines, yo, such and such, 200 million. This guy's making 30 million a year. This guy, I don't see it. I don't see the residue.
Charlamagne, you've been number one 10 years at iHeart, fucking mass media conglomerate. And you're just talking your network. But you're not paying for nothing. So what splits are you about to get?
No, this is a multi-million-dollar brand, and we're going to secure the coin and get that bag in every avenue. So I respectfully have to give it up for Charlamagne because I understand the nature of the game. When you really got that bag, when you're really up, they're gonna hate. So let's just get it real from the jump, because this ain't even really about the numbers to me. A lot of people want to spotlight that 200 million and say it's a fake deal. But ask yourself, what are you really building? Because to me, this is a projection. When these podcasters, when these pundits, when these haters look at their teams and look at their infrastructure, it gets exposed when they look at Charlamagne. They realized he built the Black Effect network from the ground up over the past 5 years and was able to leverage a massive bag. And now that they're looking around saying, oh, I've been wasting my time. What do? I hate. So that's where it gets egregious to me. That's where the takes start to go off the deep end. So let's just take a step back. Let the deals progress. Let's see what happens, and then we can start to criticize. But until then, I'm saluting the deal. Yo, and most people don't even understand how deals work. The internet thinks a deal's supposed to look like a movie scene. A suitcase slides across the table, 200 million in cash. Everybody shakes hands, and then they zoom in on your Rolex. And we understand that that's not how real contracts work. You have multi-year structures. You got ad inventory. You got back-end staffing. You have production budgets. You have performance incentives. These contracts are layered, but a lot of these men online can put on these confidence costumes and get it off like they've actually been in the room, when they haven't even negotiated a late checkout at a hotel, brother. Like, you can't even negotiate extra sauce at the restaurant, but you're trying to talk about $200 million deals. Let's make it make sense.
And so when I was looking at, doing my new deal with iHeart, I was like, I don't want to just be talent anymore. Like, I want to create this podcast network.
And this is where the take gets lazy to me, because they'll conflate two different brands, two different entities, knowing that iHeart and Netflix are completely different. Completely two different structures, but will continue to get it off like it's Bible. Netflix is streaming, content licensing, and subscriber math, global catalog with program bets. iHeart is an audio ecosystem, distribution, advertising, syndication, and a network infrastructure built for sales.
When Disney wants to give you money like that, you got to do a dance I ain't willing to do.
You could have. I think you could have done it. I don't know if you would have gotten the Stephen A. 30 a year is a big one.
Who?
You.
No.
But I think you would if you had flipped it on and done the dance right, you could have got yourself a nice 10, 15.
Oh,
I think that's.
Oh yeah.
But
I can't do it.
Yo, how you getting fired on your day off and then have the unmitigated goal to shoot at Charlamagne's $200 million deal? This is where it gets wicked to me, because this is more of spiteful hate. This is, dang, I couldn't make it into the room, so I'm going to hate anybody that can go through that door.
It's a lot of us that say we want to emulate the Hoves and the Puffs. And is that Byron Allen?
Yeah.
The Byron Allens. Mm-hmm. It's a million names I could pull out right now. But the Master P's, the Kanyes, all of the people that had to change status quo to come back and show us how to do it.
Then you have Joe Budden with soft hate, subtle hate. Yo, respect, black man. I see what you're doing in the space. Representation. But then 45 minutes followed after a butt, kicking your back in, subtly, soft. And I understand that Joe and Charlamagne are going through the who's number one, who has more leverage. But at the end of the day, we can see that 40 million is more than 20 million a year. And that's how I'm looking at it. The real podfather in the room. And then I have to look at the cap crowd. The crowd that just sits around and does nothing. Julian of the Something's Wrong with the Podcast.
YouTube has a significantly larger reach than Netflix. Like, the ownership of, from what I saw, again, in like a 100 word, summary, from what I understand, they will no longer own their YouTube content. They gave up video rights.
Need to Know only taking DEI checks. And others. I'm looking at this very funny in the light, because if you've never had the deal and you don't understand contracts and you don't even really extend that same grace to your own channel and to your own feed, and you might have even quit, what would you call that? A hater in real time. And not to wake it up too much, but when Charlamagne said that the Need to Know podcast shouldn't have quit, respectfully, I disagree. These boys were a traffic jam in the feed, sticking around because of DEI checks and proximity to Joe Budden. They caught a stimmy off his motion.
Go back and listen. We had maybe 3 to 6 ads per episode. It was McDonald's, it was Underdog, it was Walmart, it was Hulu, it was Hennessy, it was Trojan condoms. It was M&M's. It was a lot of the big brands. And DEI initiatives.
A lot of these boys do not really love the game, and they want to go back to their 9-to-5s. They want that stability. This is podcasting. This is a performance business. This is a skill set. You got to have consistency, ideas, timing, energy, and be ready to grow. And when Joe Budden said that 40% of the field won't make it, I looked right at Julian. I looked right at the Need to Know podcast. And that's not to say that everyone needs to be a superstar. No. But let's have some productivity in the space. You just present. You just here, you just in the way. But here's the catch-22. If you're not building, if you're not improving, if you're not adding value, you're not contributing to the ecosystem and you're consuming it. And maybe the 200 million headline has layers we'll never see. Cool. That doesn't change the bigger truth. Charlamagne built a machine. Black Effect is a pipeline and the distribution beats vibes every time. Here's where I'm at with it and where I gracefully land the plane. Because respectfully, it's not so much about the number, it's about what this represents. And when Charlamagne said that he watched y'all give egregious, diabolically wicked trash takes for 2 weeks, I understood. The truth can sometimes slap you in the face. The truth can sometimes be uncomfortable. Because when you look at that 200 million, you have to look at yourself and say, what am I actually building?
What about the fact that some of these shows going to Netflix will now be siloed and their discoverability will no longer be the same? But I also think that amongst the legends in media, he has been among the least entertaining of the guys like Star, even Joe, Wendy Williams, Howard Stern. He just doesn't belong at the top to me.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
Am I just present in podcasting? Do I actually believe in the content that I'm putting out? Or am I just watching the field lap me in real time? So when I hear a lot of these haters speak into the void and say a lot of nothing burgers, I think, damn, they don't really believe in their own content, or they would be vying for a $300, $400 million deal if you really living like that, if you really giving it up, but they not. Jump in the comments. Let me know what you think. Is Charlamagne goated? The real podfather, as Joe Budden and Ebro gracefully decline down the media broadcasting ladder? Are the haters just haters and they're going to continue to talk into the void, Julian being one of them as he cherry picks off Rory and Maul's stimmy? Hit the like button for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel. This is the Furious Robinson podcast on all platforms, a Sick Times media production. Stay dangerous.